What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and it appears that a new war has just erupted. I'm not talking about Ukraine. I'm not talking about Russia. I am talking about the war between Elon Musk and Apple. That war has just officially began today, although some of us can argue that it has been raging on for a couple of weeks now, maybe even a couple of months, ever since Elon hinted towards the fact that he may buy Twitter. Places like Apple, they've been freaking out the entire time. And I gotta say, I've been enjoying my time on Twitter over the last couple of weeks. It seems as if you are just a little freer to say what you want to say. You know, it was a really interesting time on Twitter over the last couple of years, watching people be banned left and right just for saying things that are kind of common sense based. I was put in timeout on Twitter not that long ago when I accidentally called Ezra Miller a he, when I was covering a story about Ezra Miller grooming little kids on a literal Indian reservation. Now, of course, Ezra Miller is a man. And Ezra Miller is guilty of a lot of crazy, creepy things. But because Ezra Miller wanted to be labeled as trans and I called him a he, I was booted off Twitter for a little while. But that's how Twitter has been working. And now this week, Elon Musk announced that he was going to create this new amnesty rule, meaning that everyone who had been banned off Twitter in the past would get a second chance. Everyone, regardless, you're going to get a second chance. Now, of course, there are still rules on Twitter. You can't threaten people's lives and certain things of that nature. But it's a more even playing field now. Because for the longest, it seems like one side was censored. And the other side was allowed to spew whatever misinformation and nonsense that they wanted. And now it's an even playing field. But you see, half of these people out here, they don't want an even playing field because they know that their talking points and their beliefs, they could easily be squashed by simple common sense. So what we've seen on these social media platforms, we see people targeted daily for saying things that are true, for just having common sense, for not bending the knee to this new way of thinking, this new world order that wants you to believe that men can get pregnant too, and all of this just outlandish stuff. So today, amnesty was supposed to start, meaning that all of these accounts would be reinstated on Twitter. And for the last few weeks, people have been freaking out, and I have been enjoying watching these meltdowns time and time again. People are having meltdowns. It was cool when one side was censored and kicked off of social media platforms for voting for the wrong person or having the wrong opinion. But now that it's going to be accepted for everyone to express themselves, these people are freaking out. It's not like Elon Musk took over Twitter and was like, all right, you know what? Now it's payback time. I'm going to bring back these people and now I'm going to target you all. No, he just talks about freedom of speech. He even mentioned the other day how he hopes people come on Twitter and can get in friendly debates with people they disagree with so you can see and hear things from all sides. And that's what we need if we want to remain a free and healthy country. You can't simply ban people and get rid of half of the country because they don't see things the same way as you do. But now, of course, today, as this new amnesty rule was supposed to come into effect, Apple has been pushing back. And now Apple has threatened to take Twitter off of its app store. Elon Musk even tweeted this earlier today. Apple has also threatened to withhold Twitter from its app store, but won't tell us why. So this is the reaction from Apple. When Apple sees that Elon is allowing free speech, when Apple sees that Elon let people back on Twitter, such as Donald Trump, of course that triggered So many people. And I don't belong to any political party. I don't even necessarily consider myself someone that's interested in politics. I'm more so interested in how politics affects our culture. You know, like how does politics affect movies, books, how we interact with each other socially? That's what matters to me. It doesn't matter to me necessarily a lot of these bills and different policies. I'm more so focused on the social aspect, on how it affects us as a community. So if it was this side, it don't matter what side is against free speech. I'm going to be against the side that is against free speech. So right now we have one side that seems to be against free speech. They seem to be all for exploiting children, drag queen story time, you know, all that stuff. They want to freely express themselves sexually in front of kids, but they don't want you to be able to express yourself verbally amongst adults on Twitter. Let that sink in. The same side that wants to censor Twitter and social media, the same side that wants you kicked off of these platforms, want to be able to sexually groom your kids in libraries and public schools and you name it. So it's this want to have your cake and eat it too, because they know their way of life, their way of thinking, their talking points, they will all be squashed by the side that they are trying to ban and censor. Now, Apple is threatening to take Twitter off of their Play Store, meaning we wouldn't have the app on our phone anymore. If you have an Apple product, and most of us do. And think about how scary that is. Apple is against your freedom of speech. Apple. The phone you use, the computer you use, is most likely made by a company that doesn't want you to have the freedom of speech. The literal device that you talk on, and I talk on too, I have an Apple phone. The literal device that we talk on and communicate with, you know, is made by a company that is against the freedom of speech. So much so that they will remove Twitter not for targeting a certain portion of this country, but for allowing a certain portion of this country to just have an even playing field. Apple does not want an even playing field. None of these big companies and corporations want an even playing field, because if there's an even playing field, they will lose drastically. It won't even be close. Apple and these social media companies, they have influenced our culture in every aspect. You get online every day and you would think that the dominant way of thinking is this one way of thinking, when in reality that one way of thinking is being boosted by algorithms, and it's being boosted by these social media platforms to make you think that this way of thinking and this way of life is more popular than what it is. Because most people will go with the flow. Whatever is popular, whatever the majority is going with, a lot of people, they just go with that. So when you get online, it makes you feel like the majority of people are these crazy people who have no idea what gender they are. They got these weird pronouns, call me it and they and bug and him, she and tree self and all of this stuff. And it makes you think that this insane ideology is more popular than what it is. Because when you go outside in your daily life, most people, at least where I live, they aren't acting like that. But Apple and these social media platforms, they have control over our culture and our society. Because when they use bots, when they ban a certain portion of people, when they ban people from sharing certain talking points, when they ban people from sharing certain news stories and certain information, what they do is they control our culture and they steer our society in what direction they want to steer it in with their false narratives, all while censoring everyone else that is basically making sense. Now, of course, there have been some people banned off Twitter that don't make sense. I get that. Not everyone on one side makes sense. All I'm saying is it doesn't make sense in a free country where we have the freedom of speech to ban half the country for not voting or thinking a certain way. So what we're going to see here is we're going to see all-out war raged between Elon Musk and a certain political party in this country and these various corporations that all basically are part of this political party, or they fund this political party. In fact, I don't even know if we can call this a political party anymore because it's basically just big tech. It's like you're up against big tech. It's a crazy situation. But if you think that it can't happen here, look around you. Look at Australia. Look at China. Look at what's happening in China right now. And these people are fighting for their lives to get these videos and information out there about these protests and stuff that are going on. So I'm going to pay close attention to this situation because this is the biggest thing going on in the world right now. Regardless if people will want to acknowledge it or not, this is the biggest news story going on in the world right now. And for the longest, places like Apple and Google, they have controlled the internet. They have controlled our public squares, basically, where we all congregate online to share our ideas and our thoughts. And they have controlled it. So if they continue to push back, it looks like new websites, maybe new phone companies, who knows? New things are going to spring up to combat the censorship. And I'm not here to tell you that, Elon is this type of guy or that type of guy. I'm still cautious of everyone. And I definitely don't blindly support billionaires, and I don't trust these rich higher ups. But as of right now, it looks like Elon is one of the only people that really can back himself with the big bucks, who is trying to fight the establishment and is trying to fight, for half of this country to still have a voice in the public square. So let me know how you all feel about this down in the comments below. Obviously, it's a crazy situation, and I do plan on giving you all updates as they roll in. But while you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and I will be sure to talk to you all in the next video. But always remember, remain opinionated.